Duel Review is brought to you by NexusDigitalComics.com. All right, on today's Duel Review, it's the 19th of August, and we're going to be talking about the Joker. I'm RJ.
And I'm Nick.
Let's get to it. All right, on today's Duel Review, we're going to be doing an in-depth look at the Joker. I'm going to let Nick start, so tell us a little bit about the Joker.
Okay, well, as you know, the Joker is the main villain in the Batman series.
And if you don't know that, I don't know, go outside right now and lay down in the middle of the road and pretend you're a speed bump.
What? No, don't do that. Don't do that. Just watch a Batman movie or something. He has three co-creators, Jerry Robinson, Bill Finger, and Bob Kane, all of which fight for the rights for the Joker because he is such an iconic character. Joker's first appearance was in Batman #1, which came out in 1940, I want to say.
Yeah, okay.
And coming back to my point, what makes him such an iconic character is the lack of motives that he has. He has, like, you can't understand. It's not for money. It's not for power. It's just to do things, which is
just chaos.
And you know, some people think that there's order behind his chaos, that he does have motives, but we don't understand him. Others think that he just is insane. He just does things, and he doesn't think them through. He just wants to be malicious. So that not knowing, because as a reader, we like to know backstories. We like to know where someone's coming from. We like to sympathize with the bad guy, simply so that we can know that there's some humanity in the world. You know, every bad thing is started off good, but something led to him being this bad. With Joker, he just bad. No one knows. He doesn't have a definite backstory. He manipulates people to think what he wants them to think. It's crazy, this character. You know?
I mean, clearly he does plan because there are situations where he leads someone to believe something, or he's got booby traps set, but he doesn't plan in depth.
He definitely plans in depth. Let me say that differently. His motives just aren't clear. So while he is a very good planner, a tactician, or he can play the field, no one knows why. You know, no one knows why he does what he does, and that's what makes him so scary. That and his sinister laugh.
Yeah, and as much as I'd like to know a concrete backstory, it's nice that it's ambiguous. I mean, it makes sense.
Yeah, I think that's what makes the character.
Yeah.
You know,
kind of like Wolverine, and then they gave him a backstory.
And then he became uninteresting.
I'm not sure how to feel about that.
Right.
It doesn't make it necessarily less interesting, but the journey's over.
Right, exactly. The journey's over, but with Joker, there is no journey. Now, there is a widely believed backstory, and that is that he is I believe it was an engineer who wanted to be a comedian, so he quits his job, becomes a comedian, but doesn't do well. His wife is bearing a child, and so to make ends meet, he joins this kind of criminal group, and they make him the Red Hood, which you may know. And then, you know, somewhere along the lines, he's being running away from Batman, and then he falls into the acid or the chemicals and bleaches his face, and bleaches his skin. But it's not proven. It's not concrete. It's just a theory.
Yeah, that's not one that I have necessarily run into. I mean, clearly the later part of that, but him wanting to be a comedian, whatever. It's more closer to akin of what they did in the first Batman movie, or not the first Batman movie, but
the one with Jack Nicholson.
Right.
Yeah. No, that's another
version. He was a mobster.
Right. That's another version where he climbed up in ranks and then he was bleached and went insane.
Well, actually, what I remember is him going insane before. I don't remember what they did, but I just remember him being kind of a kingpin.
Right.
It might have been expressed in some of the animations lately too, that he was like this kingpin mobster, or at least they suspect that he was. But then he kind of went insane, and something happened to him, and because in that iteration, it's more makeup than it is scar.
Right. But even still, again, there is no definitive backstory. Right. Which is always interesting.
Obviously, antithesis of kind of what Batman like the decisions that Batman has made, he makes the opposite. You know, Batman relies on order more or less, and
Well, the Joker also feels that without Batman,
he's honest and directed. But yeah, go ahead.
I was going to say, without Batman, the Joker is nothing. And that's what the Joker truly believes. So he doesn't want to get rid of Batman. He just wants to keep playing the cat and mouse.
Well, and there's that beautiful little tale. I think it's a Japanese tale or something about the scorpion and the we've seen it in the video game recently, the DC Online universe. They have a little cutscene with it, but I've seen it before in the comic where Joker's talking about how there's a scorpion and I forget what it is, a monkey or something like that, and the monkey saves the scorpion from falling into this rapids, you know, where it's going to clearly drown. Right. And to say thank you, the scorpion stings the monkey and they both fall.
Right.
And that's the kind of the sort of thing that,
right.
You know, it's like, why is he doing this? I'm trying, you know, Batman clearly tries to help him all the time. He doesn't ever kill him. You know, a lot of us are like, why don't you just kill him? Because he's obviously clearly dangerous. But I know you wanted to talk about that too, so maybe we can segue into the damage that Joker actually has done.
Right, and that's another thing that makes the Joker such an iconic character, is that where others have failed, the Joker has succeeded in some sense of the word. For example, Barbara Gordon, Batgirl, is now paralyzed because the Joker shot her in the back. Then forced Jim Gordon, Barbara's father, Batgirl's father, to look at pictures. I don't want to get into what the pictures entailed, but essentially his motive was anyone who suffers a really bad day can go insane. And that's what he was trying to do, force Jim Gordon to go insane. Followed by that, the Joker also killed the second Robin. And what makes that interesting, and this is why it caused me to pause, because it wasn't necessarily the Joker who did it, it was us, the reader. We were given a vote, you know, do you want Jason Todd to die? And we, the viewers, the readers, the audience, decided, yes, we want Jason Todd to die.
And I do it again.
So that suddenly makes the Joker's decision our decision, which makes the Joker even more real. Which just, it's scary, because now he's hyperhuman or hyperhumanized because he is our decision, which is creepy.
You know, when I was growing up, they had the great Batman series on cartoon on TV.
Oh, yeah, the animated series.
I'm not that old for the Adam West version.
I watched.
I guess I did reruns.
Yeah, I loved them.
But pow, zap.
But yeah, you're talking about Batman the animated series, which
right.
came out in 1990. 1990.
Could have been. Yeah. Anyway, and that'll bring us to Mark Hamill. But but first, just that iteration of it. Really laid the groundwork for what I knew about this character.
Okay.
And
so we're talking about the Joker, not the Batman series itself.
Well, we're talking about the Batman series, but the Joker in that series, right. I always had this kind of sense that I shouldn't like it because he's dressed in pink and he's a goofy clown. Like, why do I like him as a villain so much? And I think I've struggled with that as I got older too. Like, he's a clown. I mean, like. Yeah. How scary can that be?
Clowns are creepy.
Not terribly scary to me, even the Joker, but it's just that sense of it's the antithesis, and that all this chaos and is funny to him. I mean, it's right. His sense of humor, whether he's really having a good time or not. That's left to be you have right. to decide that. Right. But laughing and making a joke in the face of all these horrible things, that's what makes him him. Yeah. And Mark Hamill, getting back to that, lends such a great voice. He's perfect. He will always be the Joker. Yeah.
His laugh is perfect. His gritty talk, the way he speaks.
Yeah, the raspiness. And I'm so glad that he did the last couple games. Right. Arkham Asylum, and he's doing Arkham City. Right, he's Joker. Done most of the good animations. There's a couple that he hasn't. I think the Red Hood he didn't do.
Yeah, Batman and the Red Hood.
That was the guy who played Bender on Futurama. I can't remember his name.
What was it?
DiGiorno or DiMaggio, something along those lines. Yeah, it was that really low voice, and he did a good job.
Oh no, okay, yeah, you're right. Because I remember Doogie Howser in there, Neil Patrick Harris, but he was he Nightwing, Robin?
Yeah. So anyway, So yeah, he's been done, and then clearly in the movies.
Or was he? The Red Hood. It doesn't matter. Sorry.
Clearly, in the movies, we had Heath Ledger do Joker, and he did a great job. But I still miss
the laugh.
Yeah.
Well, I think
Hamill's voice.
Yeah.
And the way that Hamill, you can tell just by the way he laughs whether Joker's, is being sarcastic, whether he's gleeful, whether he's sad. The gamut of emotion with one expression. it's
amazing. A laugh, and it shows everything that the Joker's feeling. And you're absolutely right. Mark Hamill is perfect for that. He just
brilliant.
Yeah.
And the first time that I realized it was Luke Skywalker doing that, I was like, "What? Are you serious?
He's the Jedi Knight."
Well, I like the first Star Wars films, but I never really cared for Luke Skywalker. Not really because of his acting, just that character is kind of bland to me. Like Duke from G.I. Joe is bland, and Captain America is kind of bland, and it's just kind of like I'm the forthright, fairly clean cut, got chap in bland clothes, kind of thing. So whatever. Regardless of what I feel about
Captain America is in that.
His portrayal. When I just didn't associate. I heard Mark Hamill. I just figured it was some other guy that was named Mark Hamill. But then seeing him do it, especially on YouTube now, you can go look it up right now. In fact, I encourage you to do so.
Yeah.
It's amazing. It's so cool. He's just so good at that. And I keep hearing him. I just rewatched the Spider-Man that I grew up with in 1994. And he's in that. He's the Hobgoblin, and his voice pops up a lot, but it's never as iconic as the Joker. He just nailed it.
Yeah. I wanted to bring up the third thing that he did, and that was the third thing that the Joker did in the comics that really pushed him to the limit. And I know we kind of went off on a tangent to get right back to this point, but the third thing that he did was there's a little imp thing that follows Superman around. The name is like Mixel thing, something. I don't really know. Because I can never say it. But basically, the Joker steals that character's powers and now can control reality. And so because he's controlling reality, he forces Batman to die over and 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 over again. And this kind of drives Bruce Wayne insane, like seriously crazy. So that when Superman finally does save the day, he has to pretty much lobotomize Bruce Wayne so that he erases that memory so that he can carry on as the Batman. Yeah. Now, I think it would have been a little more interesting if he suffers through the insanity and then rights himself and then becomes the Batman slowly, but a different Batman. But, even still, having to have your memory erased because of what a villain did is still pretty...
And it's interesting, you've got villains that are pretty much predictable, and you'd say maybe Joker can be predictable in that he's always unpredictable, but then he does show compassion every once in a while.
Yeah.
Even though he treats Harley like poop and whatever most of the time, there's still that weird thing.
Yeah, but then
you can't quite tell, is he loving him or is he manipulating him?
Right.
What is he doing?
Right.
Anyway, that's a quick look at the Joker, and if you have any other thoughts or any opinions of your own that you'd like to share, please do so. We'll take a look and we'll get back to you.
Yeah, and we'll redo this whole thing because we love the Joker.
All right, guys. We'll see you next time. Next week, it's Defiance, the comic book.
Then the Joker laugh?
No.
It should have been.
Clearly not.
Clearly. Okay.
Nicholas, take your meds, Nicholas. Who let you out of your room? Didn't do it.
Put that aside. Let's get to work.
Oh! I was doing something dirty.
You were doing something dirty.
Ooh. What am I doing behind this? I don't know. Would you find out? Stay tuned.
No, we're not gonna find out. We're not gonna find out ever.
Stop that. Secret shame.
Stop that. Alright, come on. Seriously. We're professionals here.
Who are you talking?
You apparently do not like life.
Cereal? You don't like the board game, man.
That board game's kind of fun. But what I was trying to get is I will murder you if you make fun of me.
I love life. I just don't like everybody else's.
That's kind of crazy. Okay.